You see Ant's going to bunt here. You can see he's got a level head and a level bat. He's got the top of the strike zone. So if the ball comes in and it's right at his bat, he can just leave it there. If the ball's above the zone, above his bat, he can pull his bat back. Otherwise, he's going to lower his knee to get the bat the height of the ball. And as he lowers, his body actually moves forward slightly, so he doesn't actually have to take his hands and extend them to the ball. He can just lower his leg. And if you notice, he lowers his knee as he's bunting it. So this is a split squat bunt. He's just going to go ahead and squat as he bunts it. If he puts one of his hands in front of the other, he'll get his angle. There's the angle down third. Nice and easy. You see he stays straight, and then he turns his hands down on a tougher pitch.
So if I'm in my stance, in a good bunting stance right here, and my shoulders are level, my bat's never going to dip below the zone unless I force it down with my hands. But if I play with my bat angle, because of my shoulder angle changes, the bat automatically tips down. So a couple bat examples. So I'm not doing anything except changing the level of my shoulders. But if I keep my shoulders square, my bat stays flat through the zone. So my bat plays off of my shoulders. My shoulders get messed up, bat gets messed up. Shoulders stay square, bat stays square. It's just up and down with my knees.
So how would you take that into a swing?
Same thing.
You just lower your knee and that keeps your head straight?
Keeps my head straight.
That keeps the bat flat?
So if I swing and my shoulders are uneven, my bat's going to be uneven through the zone. But if I swing and I keep my shoulders level through the zone, I'm going to have a level swing. I'm going to stay through the zone a lot longer if I keep my shoulders level versus if I angle out.
So let's go plate coverage with a locked leg. Let's lock our leg out because some people teach lock leg hitting. So if you were to lock your leg out when you hit and it covers the ball and all the plate area, then what would happen if you were to lock leg bunt? How would that feel?
If I were to try and lock leg bunt and still do the same thing by taking my knee down, it's impossible for me to fall backwards.
It's impossible to get your knee down. Okay, so then if you just keep your leg facing straight or your leg is locked, and that means when you go to bunt it, what does it do to your bat angle?
That's the only way I can get through it.
Lock your leg and bunt. That's not a good way to cover the pitches, is it?
Nope.
To lock your leg out and then try to cover the plate? That's kind of weird, isn't it? Okay, so now just go ahead and let your legs bend a little bit. Just like let them bend when you bunt the ball. Oh, that's pretty good. It goes forward and to the ball and it's flat. So now let's talk about different bunting angles with the bat. Start with your bat above the handle. I've heard some people talk about this. And then as the ball comes in, they lower their hands back to level. And then if you notice when he bunted it, his bat was slanted. So he would have to do a really good job of
I'm like trying to time it up, almost.
So you might as well just start with the flat then?
If it has to end flat, why not just start with the flat?
Yeah, because if the barrel goes higher than your hands, it doesn't make the barrel any bigger, does it?
No.
It doesn't make it force it to go down.
If anything, it takes away plate coverage. If I go right here, I have my bat flat, and now I angle up, I just lost about 2 inches of plate coverage just because I wanted to have my bat up. Now in order to get that pitch, I got to drop my bat down, and now I have to time it out to make it flat through the zone, because if I drop the barrel below the ball, it's going to foul off or pop up straight in the air.
So people teach the swing angle to have a barrel below the handle, but then they teach the bat to be flat and still when they bunt it to cover the pitch. That doesn't make any sense. You should just have a flat bat the whole time then when you swing or you bunt. It would make sense to me.
Makes sense to me too. They want us to bunt with the flat bat because it gives us the most plate coverage, yeah.
Yeah.
But they want us to swing with an angle bat.
Some people teach with a swing with an angle bat, but bunt with a flat bat.
So we have less plate coverage. If this is the most plate coverage, and everything else deviates from that, why would you want anything else in your swing?
So what kind of stances would show us a swing that would have the bat angle? So like
literally,
anytime the knees stay the same height?
Anytime my knees stay the same height or my shoulders go one way or another.
So what about a hinge stance? Get into a hinge stance where your butt's out and your head's forward and they call it a hinge.
And I want to
so is that that's not gonna be a flat bat. So where would you pitch a guy right there?
Oh, just up and away.
Up and away, low and away, something moving off the plate, something hard and in.
I'll even go hard and in, yeah, because he's just gonna spin it right off his front foot anyway. Tell you what, if I see a guy up there bunting like this, I'm gonna make him bunt that pitch because now he has to time it up. And
there you go. So you can the bunting stance will give it away.
So if he's gonna bunt like this, I'm just gonna go away. If he's bunting like this, he's probably a good bunter. Now if I see him take a pitch like this, now I know I'm just gonna throw it up. He's probably gonna go down.
Also, you guys notice Ant's back foot is all the way turned towards home. or all the way turns towards the pitcher. Sometimes you see bunters and they'll leave their back leg kind of stuck, and they don't turn their hip, and that leaves their bat right here, and then they got to reach out. But if their back hip turns all the way around, they can actually reach the pitch.
So if I want to bunt the ball to first base or third base, and I'm trying to create an angle, but I don't know how to create an angle or how much angle to have, just look at home plate. Just take the angles from home plate. So if I want to bunt the ball to third base, if that's where my bat needs to line up to keep it in fair territory, that's going to be my bat angle. I'll just play off of this angle. And then same thing for first base. I'll just pick up my bat from that angle, and now my bat is automatically set to first base. So when you're holding the bat to bunt, you want to be able to hold the bat to where the weight is distributed evenly both sides. You don't hold the bat up by the barrel because that's where you're trying to bunt the ball and you're not trying to get your fingers hit, and you don't want to hold it down by the handle because now our bat gets top heavy. We can't keep the bat head in. So we want to find a nice little balance point in our bat, usually around the sticker of our bat. And then our bottom hand, we're actually going to keep it at the knob of the bat. We're not going to move it up. We're going to keep it right at the knob of the bat, and this is going to be what we use to create our angle.
For drag bunts, put your feet together and you set your angle, and then once the ball comes in, you just step towards the pitcher. They just shuffle their feet, and there's their angle, they bunt it, and they run to first. They would actually shuffle their feet together, and I see a lot of people will do their drag bunts, and they'll do like this stuff with their feet. That like sets your bat way back here, and it's really hard to get that angle, and you can't see the ball back here either. So it's like, why do we scissor our feet and then lean over and then try to bunt the ball? And that's, you always see everybody bunt the ball and it goes right behind the catcher, and then they run out. It's because we're sending our head forward with our feet scissored. Whereas if you're standing tall, you can be like this, shuffle your feet, you end up having a flat head.
Ideally, a push bunt's going to end up between the first baseman and the pitcher, and you want either of them to try and collide on the ball to hit it. So you want to take your angle, so instead of like bunting the ball just normal, you're actually going to want to work through the baseball and keep your momentum going towards second base. And then same thing from left side. You set your angle, and then when you walk the bat out, you're like walking the bat almost towards second base. So that way you have momentum behind
So
the
all
ball.
your energy towards the spot that you're putting.
Correct.
Yeah.
Same thing when you're hitting, I guess. Wherever your knee points, that's where the ball's going to go.
Yep.
So if I'm trying to bunt the ball to second base, I'm going to leak with my back knee and keep my energy going towards the place I'm trying to hit it.
Yes.
If I'm in a good bunting position, when I drop the bat, I should have full plate coverage. If I'm too far from the plate and I drop my bat, then I know that I don't have plate coverage.
So how far were you? A foot length away? 1 length away?
That's just what I set it normally. So I usually set it just a foot. It's the length off the plate. And instead of like leaning to go and try and get that pitch that's away, if I want to be a bad ball bunter, just move my arms out.
Just moved his arms out instead of leaning towards the pitch.